You would think that, if it was a coral, there would still be part of the branches
Copy.
left, but it could be
Lasers
those Acanthogorgia, very small colonies that have died and were taken over by zoanthids, or there could be a mysterious stalked sponge that we're not seeing. Like
about 2 minutes ago, right? 2-3 minutes ago.
a halonematid or something like that, but we haven't seen any of those yet to confirm.
Oh, there's something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready when you all guys are.
Pilot, can we snap zoom to the branching in the upper left? Yeah, right above the lasers now.
Okay,
Thank
moving
you.
closer.
This might be a small primnoid, but it's very heavily colonized by brittle stars, or feather stars.
Let's
Maybe brittle stars too. I think I see one from this distance.
Hold right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This looks like a small, very, very small colony of what we've been seeing the past couple hours on this dive so far. Something in the genus Calogorgia, most likely. But it's not a species we immediately recognize.
There's a bunch of associates. Crinoids, brittle stars, and looks like a squat lobster.
Video's clear.
Okay, let's come out. Let's get
Thanks,
a nice
pilot.
frame. Okay. All right. Taking off.
I think there's a mollusk right to the lower center if lasers are on.
Lasers
Just
are not on, but center
right
mollusk.
above lasers.
Right here?
Yep.
Do you want me to get in closer, or you want to snap from here?
Yeah, I think we can see his foot coming out.
Good afternoon for all those who are joining us. This is the Okeanos Explorer.
Come in.
Today we are diving on a small mound just northwest of Desecheo Island. Here's a snail.
Hold right there.
Finally. We haven't had a chance to film many snails.
Come in.
This one has a beautiful shell.
Is that wholesome?
So this area has been targeted by many of the fishermen due to the high abundance of some of these deep water snappers and groupers. So today we are characterizing the habitats
Okay.
of some of these really commercially important fish species to get a better idea of where they live and
I
what
think
they
that's good.
eat.
I'm gonna bring them over. Okay. Tilting up. Copy. Thank you. Let's do a quick zoom right here. That's good. Okay. I don't think they're interested in that. Let's take a look over here.
Yesterday we were diving relatively close to this area, but a little bit shallower, on more of an escarpment, a wall type feature. Pilot, can you, there's something dark towards the left.
Okay. Something dark. Okay.
Yeah, that, can we just snap zoom?
Go ahead, video. Hold right there.
It's one of those purple branching octocorals.
Do you want to take a closer look?
Are you heading that way, or if you're not heading that way, that's okay. We got a pretty nice shot of one earlier in the dive.
Okay, yeah, maybe we can make a closer zoom from here, but I have to move east.
Okay,
so
no worries. Yeah.
let's come out, video.
So far we've
So let's turn.
seen only small fish, some of these green eyes.
Pushing out.
And these
co-pilot.
are forage fish, prey fish of some of these larger species that we're trying to
was
observe
listening
during
to
this
that
dive.
I was listening to it. Yeah. Right there. Yeah, I listen to it right now. You hear that, Roland? Yeah, when he opens that channel, I definitely hear it on my headset.
I also heard it on my...
Oh, back there also. So it's all over the place.
No, that's okay.
That's fine. I mean, it's not that loud. If it was loud, then... Alright. Alright, I can hold here while you guys put in another move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. What's the bearing to waypoint 3? About the same as the ship, right? About 7.6 or something. Yeah, we can head there. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty shallow. I mean, pretty flat. Okay. And I don't have a lot of current. It's definitely pushing me back. But
Yes, Nav?
fortunately.
I really don't think it matters. Yeah, there's some wiggle room. Yep, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
So we started this dive off at around 525 meters. We are now slowly climbing this small mound, and we are at 458 meters.
Copy.
We're hoping that when we reach the top of this, we could maybe see some queen snappers. We saw a few queen snappers yesterday along with silk snappers during our dive. And also a couple, or maybe possibly one misty grouper.
Okay, yeah, we can get another move this way.
Buenas tardes y gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Estamos explorando un pequeño monte submarino noroeste de la isla de Desecheo en el área de Pinchincho. Queremos caracterizar los hábitats de los peces en aguas profundas como cartuchos y otros chíos y meros como guasas.
Let's come out and land to get a better shot.
Estamos subiendo lentamente en este monte, pero espero cuando encima podemos ver los cartuchos y otros chíos. Vimos muchos esponjas y crinoides como en el medio de pantalla. There's a tiny sea urchin right at the base of the sponge. This is the second small recruit that we've seen.
Sorry, video. Moving back.
It's unusual to see really small urchins on any reef, shallow and deep.
Co-pilot, can you take my rotator?
So many of these marine organisms have a really complex life history where they release their sperm and egg in the water column, and their eggs are fertilized. And then they go through a planktonic stage where they're microscopic in size, and they don't have much movement, some more than others in the water column. So the currents usually direct them to the areas, and once they reach a certain size, or they're in the water column for a certain amount of time, it all depends on the species. Like lobsters can be planktonic for months, while there's some corals that are only for a couple days. Their larvae is only in the water column for a couple days, and then when they find their habitat, they then change and metamorphose into either a small fish, what we call a settler, or a recruit, and then they grow up to be an adult. So it's unusual to see really small individuals of corals or sea urchins. So we've seen 2 small sea urchins on this dive today. Pretty cool. And also this brings up a larger question of connectivity, since larvae are in the water column for an amount of time that many of these islands are connected. So there are sources and sinks. So the sea urchin that is on this, that we've just seen, the adults could be from upstream locations like other islands. So it's really interesting. Very cool. Yeah, Michelle brought up a great point. This could be a nursery habitat for some of these urchins, or also corals. Pilot, this is watch lead.
Go ahead.
There's something small and black. It's right now at 6 o'clock. Is it? Oh, okay. Is it a shadow?
Come in video. Hold right there.
Ah, yeah, it's just a crack.
Okay, let's come on.
Thank you.
Pushing out. Tilting up.
Pilot, this is watch lead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the current, has it died down? It seems like it's not so strong.
Yeah, even when we switched, it was a little bit stronger. Right now there's very little current right now.
Oh, okay. There's a fish about 3 o'clock. Well, now it's in the middle.
Come in video. Hold right there.
It's another one of these green eyes.
Just below that little crab that tried to grab him.
Okay, let's come out then.
Thanks, pilot.
Copy. Okay, video, I'm trying to hold position here. You said something about a crab or something at the bottom?
It was a small crab that tried to grab him as he went past.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
It was like 1/10 his size.
Okay. Alright, so I'm pushing out. You can call another move. I think that one just stopped, right? Sure. No, I think 20 is fine, in case I have to stop or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of these green eyes. You could kind of, when they move to the side, they shimmer on the seafloor. I think there's another one right above the lasers that's moving along.
Just come in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of those.
Yeah. Oh, there are two.
Come in, video. Drifting back.
I think we're good on that guy.
Okay, let's come out. Copy.
So far we've been seeing a lot of sponges and crinoids at this site, both stocked and unstocked.
Do you want to take a look at this video while I get some tether, or should we just...
Yeah, we can look at that.
Okay. Just come in. Tilting up.
So this is a stock crinoid.
I'm getting too close. Okay.
Also known as a sea lily. This is a relative of the sea urchins, the small little sea urchin that we saw, and the ones with the longer spines.
Sorry, video. Not even...
What's cool about these, they look like they're pretty stationary, but if they feel threatened, they could either detach themselves from the seafloor and crawl along with their arms, or detach from the stalk and then grow a new stalk.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
And I believe there's some
Can you tilt up a little bit, Copilot?
videos online that show some of these crinoids dragging
Right,
their
yeah,
stalk
perfect.
along. Yeah, this is really cool.
You tilt up a little bit more. Oh, I'll fight. There you go. I'll fight that one. Hold it right there. Oh, come on. Sorry, video. Right, let's just let it go right there.
Now they're suspension feeders, so they're
Media,
just
you need
basically
to move
waiting
on.
for any food to swim into their arms. And they have little tube feet that will take the food particles, whether that's small crustaceans,
Copy,
into the
pushing out,
mouths.
tilting up. Another one of those.
Yeah, there's
fish.
a lot of fish.
They're
They're all
so
over the
low.
place.
Okay, pushing out.
There's a lot of prey items.
There's one a little bit bigger than 10 centimeters upper right. Now straight right. Right above your lasers.
Another one.
Okay, you can come in.
Same guy, he just looks bigger than the
Hold right there.
ones
I'm
we've been
approaching it.
seeing. Yeah, he's turned the wrong way now.
Yeah, that's another one of those green eyes.
A little
And
bit bigger, but
looks like there's a couple colonies of stylasters, small ones,
okay. You wanna come in?
small
Video?
hydrocorals.
Fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, keep going. Another one right here.
And this just shows you how diverse the seafloor is. We were relatively close to this site in this general area yesterday, and it had dramatic relief. There was high diversity of corals, also of sponges and fishes. Here we're seeing an overlap of the deep sea corals to that of more of shallower water corals. Some of the black corals that we saw, we were diving a little bit shallower yesterday, so we saw a lot of those small black corals. We saw a couple of colonies earlier in this dive. Can we snap zoom on the right in the middle by the brittle star? Is that a sponge?
Let's hold on. Video. Okay, let's come in. Hold right there.
Ah, yeah, it's a sponge.
Okay, let's come in. I'll try to tilt down myself.
Yeah, a sponge
Bad idea.
that is covered in detritus along with crinoid and a brittle star. There are a lot of brittle stars and crinoids at this site.
Let's see if that. Okay, how to headings.
So this is very similar to the ones that we saw stocked, but this is unstocked, and
No, I can't do
it
that.
uses these
Hold on.
finger-like appendages to attach itself. They're called series.
Okay.
I think there's a basket star hanging off of that sponge up to the upper right hand.
All right,
Corner.
let's do this the right way. Can you take my rotator? Yeah. Just come in video. Let's get this quickly. To the left. And then if you want to get the star, also you're fine. Video, let us know. Do you want to get the star or the crinoid?
It's up to science.
Alright, then let's come out. You were talking about another sea star, correct?
Yeah, there's a basket star in the upper right-hand corner. Yeah,
Upper right-hand
you could
corner.
see the arms out.
Of a branchy thing on the sponge in the upper corner.
Okay, moving up there. Probably, yeah, I'll need it. I mean, you'll need it once I land. And sure.
So we saw a basket star earlier on Calagorgia.
Okay, can I come in video?
Is there any way to swing around to see the front of the sponge?
I can swing around, but I might not be as stable. I cannot really get, like, 180 probably won't be good because I'll be against the current. And
Oh, okay.
so maybe I can get 90 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that video. Sorry, what was that? Okay. Okay. All right, so let me know. Okay. Copy. Okay. All right. Let me land. Okay, video, let's take a look at it from here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get stable. Yep. All right, okay, can come in video.
So this is
And then kindly
another
rotate down.
kind of echinoderm.
There. Yep.
They're related also to a small little crinoid that you see on top of the sponge. This is a modified brittle star. And you could see that they have all these tiny little arms. And many times you find them curled up, but this one most likely has his arms or her arms displayed because they're feeding on the small
Copy.
animals in the water column, like plankton. And Christopher Ma from the Smithsonian has a really cool blog, echino blog, of basket stars. And the name Gorgoncephalus, which is the genus of these basket stars, actually comes from a Greek myth, Gorgon's head, which this myth had coiled serpents for hair, so you could definitely relate the basket star to this this person with serpents for hair. They have a really cool set of intricate arm systems and.
Okay, watch lead. I think that's the best shot I can give you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, lining up with you, co-pilot. And then pushing out. Tilting up. Oh, there's a bigger fish. Let's come in video. Hold right there.
Oh yeah, there's a fish. That one looks like either a shark, yeah, maybe a dogfish of some type. It's moving very rapidly. Oh,
Copy.
looks very much like a squalid. All right,
Okay,
well,
video,
hopefully
let's come out.
that's useful enough for our shoreside scientists.
Coming back to your camera. Copy, rotating. Okay. Are you lined up with the... okay. Alright. Coming back. Okay, you have me at 52. Do we want another move, co-pilot? Alright. Copy. I think the current's starting to pick up again. Rotate down. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just a little bit more than before. There was a point where there was pretty much no current.
And pilot, the current is more or less from the same direction?
So right now I think, let me see. This is probably where it's coming from. I'd say that's, yeah.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Sure. Let me line up with co-pilot to see if I was correct. Okay. I'm off the bottom. And then to let go of the sticks, do I have to get well above bottom, or is that good? Okay. No, but it's right here on this side. Left, right there. So right there I'm off stick. Yeah. Well, actually I'm not moving that much, but it is coming, I think. I think more like, well, maybe south-southwest, but slowly. So, do you see anything? Yeah, but it's not that strong, really.
If you're just joining us, we're diving on a mound feature in the vicinity of a region called Pichincho, which is a commercially fished area in the Mona Passage, northwest of the island of Desecheo. We're on a series of mounds today. We're just approaching the top of the crest of one of these mounds.
How many degrees? Okay.
Our dive today was estimated to cover some about 120 meters of relief on this mound feature. So far we expected to see mostly soft bottom, but it's actually predominantly hard bottom with a lot of attached fauna like sponges and corals. Not many fishes, but we have seen probably some of the largest fish in the last couple of minutes. We saw what looked like a dogfish or a shark, small, swimming rapidly along the seafloor. In addition, we saw some smaller fish like green eyes and a cusk-like fish, probably a brocholid, associated with some cold water corals in the area.
Okay, video. We have to wait for the ship to change heading, so let's do a snap zoom right here.
Right now we're taking a look at this sea star.
Okay.
It looks a little damaged. One of the arms looks a little broken. Hi, Nav.
Okay, video whenever you're good.
Understood.
All right.
So that sea star we were just looking at had at least 2 damaged arm tips.
I
One of
think
them
I
was
saw
partially regrown. The other one looked like it was more
pretty
recent.
big urchin, so yep.
There's a couple of these small erosional divots in the side of the wall here, in the side of the slope. These are probably erosional features in the carbonate rock underneath that could have been created from dissolution or from scouring.
Copy. Okay, so let's zoom in from here, video.
We find that there are actually some organisms that are associated with those divots.
Copy, yeah.
This looks like another siderid urchin.
Do you have more zoom, video?
This one looks very similar to one we have been seeing on previous dives. This looks like Histosideris, which is a type of siderid sea urchin that... Oh, I just noticed that actually. Some of the spine tips on the feet are smoother, possibly for walking. And I just noticed too that
can you rotate down?
I got a good look at the underside of that, and a lot of the spines, especially on the oral side, which is on the bottom, are much more heavily serrated than the spines on the top of the body. Yep. You can get a good picture of it now. Very, very distinct serrations, almost saw-like, and then much finer serrations on the long tips of the arch and spines. That's something I haven't noticed before. Usually we see them, they're pretty crouched low to the sediment and munching on something, possibly some sponge or a coral maybe. We've seen these critters the past couple of days eating black corals. They're known to be bioeroders in some cases, where they eat parts of coral, they can erode away the skeletal material as they're
there, I'm
chomping through.
So if you want to come in, you can, or you can come out.
Just in the process of waiting for the ship to move, so we're zooming on some of the objects that are in our immediate vicinity. This one has a number of brittle stars as well, attached to the tentacles, or are attached to the arms like spines that we've been like we've been seeing in the past few minutes. Our depth right now is 446 meters.
Yeah, when there's
We're
very
about
little
200
current,
meters
the
deeper than
direction
yesterday.
moves like crazy. Yeah, if you open the graph up there, like you'll see the direction just. Okay, we're pushing out science. Copy. Okay. Rotating up. Oh. Thank you. Um, are we on pace to reach waypoint 4? Okay. I don't know. We have Chief Nav right here. He knows everything. Copy. Yeah, after we're not done with that one, but after they cool down, we can get another move in. I think they're not done, but I don't know. Okay, so we're still moving. Okay.
Very good. Moving along again.
We see more of these fish.
The small green eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to be pretty abundant at this site. It was mentioned that those might be some sort of small forage fish for
It's coming like from
some of the larger.
northeast, yeah. No, but it's not that much, so it's fine. Yeah.
Pilot, can we look at this sea fan in the upper left?
Upper left, yeah. Let's go over there, video. Are we interested in this shell or?
We can snap zoom on it. Yeah.
Okay, let's come in video. Snap zoom and then we'll go to the fan.
So this looks like a slit shell. Seems to be occupied. There is an animal inside there. These are a type of gastropod mollusk. We've seen them actually pretty extensively over the past few days. They've been common in this depth range, maybe as far down as 5 or 6,
Yeah.
600
That's
meters.
Yep.
They seem to have a preference for
Video
slightly
whenever
hard
you're good.
bottom, but we've seen them on a mixture of bottom types, soft and hard. So yeah, I can tell by the orientation of a lot of these sponges and coral colonies that the current conditions are very different here from what we were experiencing down on the slope. Sponges and corals tend to be a little bit larger here, more erect rather than bent over.
Let's come in, video.
I'm going to take a look at this coral here. Oh, there's a couple different ones. I see a purple stalk on the left too. We might want to take a quick snap on before we leave.
Let's come in.
This one looks like a primnoid octocoral, and the polyps look to be closed at the moment. This could be in the genus Calogorgia. This particular colony only has,
trying to get stable
from what I could see, one ophiuroid. Is there another one up top? At least one ophiuroid. The brittle star we see kind of dead center. The aureole disc in the middle with the arms branching off 5 sides. These were probably the dominant octocoral at this particular site. We've seen more of these colonies than any other. We've also seen a Narella species, another primnoid, as well as a couple of morphologies of plexaurids. A lot of the colonies of this species we are looking at right now were seen much further down on the slope, very much bent over, and they were quite parallel to the seafloor, facing downslope.
Co-pilot, can you rotate down slightly? Okay, right there, that's good. Yep.
This colony looks a little bit different than the one that was collected off of Vieques. We were trying to identify that earlier, and we came up with 2 possible identifications, which we'll have to get some more data on from some input from some experts in this particular species and genus.
Okay, let's come out then. Thank you, co-pilot.
And
then you told me, so go ahead.
The purple stalk, yeah.
Okay.
To the left, there you go.
Yeah, so let me try to get a little bit closer. 64 degrees, so we still have a little bit of time. Okay. Okay, coming down. Right, thank you. And then rotating down. Right, try to come in. Video. Hold right there.
So this looks like it could be a plexaurid octocoral. All the polyps are retracted.
Oh, sorry.
We saw a sea fan similar to the purple fan that we sampled a few days ago at Mona. And this one looks like it's the same color, but it's not. Doesn't appear to be branched, if at all. Or maybe the branches are just very small. I can't pick them out at the moment. Maybe some very small branch buds I can see on the right-hand side. Interesting that the ophiuroid is almost as big as the coral colony in that case.
All right, sorry.
Thanks, pilot.
Didn't get you the best shots, video.
I think that's enough. Oh, on the left-hand side I see something else. far left. Can you make it over there?
Yeah,
That
we
big
have
fan.
to move on, but
Okay.
as we move on, I can show you. So let's snap zoom video.
Yeah, as
Won't
bit
get
of
any
a
closer.
as best of a shot as you can manage.
Yep, right there.
So I think we're looking at another species of Narella. This one was imaged a little bit earlier, but this colony is much more substantial.
Okay, video.
Yeah.
Let's come on.
You can see a bit of the golden colored skeleton. This is another primnoid octocoral. At this depth, there are
Rotating,
only a
lining
few
with you.
species it could be.
Lining up with you, I mean. And then pushing out. Copy. Let's quick snap zoom right here, video. Is this just, yeah, it's nothing. Come out. Copy. Still pushing out. Okay, 72 degrees. Copy, 65 degrees. Tilting up.
Taking a look here at a couple of different small outcrop features, dissolution features. or erosional features in the substrate. Can we zoom in that pit if we have enough time?
Sure. Maybe 20. Okay.
We're pretty much seeing the exact same fauna at the top of this mound now. We're just cresting the mound as we were seeing on the slope, although the differences in currents have changed things a little bit. There seems to be a different stalked crinoid as well to the right of this larger purple one.
Okay, let's come in video. And then Copilot, can you take my rotator, please? Rotate down, yep. Rotating, rotating, rotating.
Pilot, I see three things in the area I might want to look at right where you sit down now.
Whenever
So
you're good video, let's come out.
can get a good view of this one, and then
then
the stalked crinoid to the right,
okay, let's come in video.
the yellow one.
Right there, hold. Yep. Copy.
So these are two different types of stalked crinoids we're looking at.
Can come in a little bit farther.
The one yellow one on the right and the darker gray purple one on the left.
Let's come out partial video. Oh, I'm sliding back, that's why.
And if possible, Pilot,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you need to move, that's fine.
No.
There was a small coral colony as well to the lower left.
Okay.
That was very tiny. Be a good idea to look at.
Let me get stable video. I keep drifting this way. Okay, let's come in. Trying to rotate. Okay. This crinoid on the left doesn't want to get out of the way. Ah, now I lost my footing. Okay. Copy. Is that a good look, video? Science?
That looks great. Thanks. Yep.
Okay.
Can
let's
move
come
on
out.
to the final one.
Okay, let's come out video. And then the last one, the one right here to the lower left. Is that it? Science?
That's it, the gray white, yeah.
Copy. Okay. Let's hold right there, video. Okay, right there, that's perfect. And then, okay. All right, video, let's come in. Hold right there. Okay, video, that's the best I can do. Gonna try to hold it. Do you have more zoom? Copy. Okay, trying to rotate to the right.
Yeah, so we're looking here at another type of octocoral. This one looks very similar, actually, to another primnoid, a relative of what we were seeing before.
Rotating slightly to the right.
Difficult to tell, though, from this perspective, but the way that the polyps are branching here, almost, or the way that the polyps appear here in this alternating fashion, it looks like it could be possibly Acanthoprimnoa or close relative.
When you're good. All right. Okay. Let's. If you want, we can get a look at all of them. my phone.